Alright, I'm going to read you a bit of chapter 1 from a new book, Ruminare. This chapter's called Ablution. A scarred and colossal hand shot out from underneath the insipid-coloured 8-odd duvet. Marvin opened his beady left eye and squinted. He zoned into the illuminating red touch-sensor on-off capacitance switch, and with his nicotine-stained finger of his right hand, he touched the smart button ever so lightly. It was a clever alarm clock, but on perhaps the most annoying wake-up sound that one could possibly have concocted. Silence ensued for Marvin to lower his furrowed brow with gratified relief. A long spindly leg, right leg, followed by a left, swung out of bed. A deep sigh and a shrug of the shoulders, and within 5 minutes Marvin had managed to push himself all the way up to the sitting position. It was an impressive rising for him. His head drooped and spine curved as he began to doze off again, but his nemesis wouldn't allow it. "Roll me, smoke me, you know you want to," whispered the sultry-head demon. The white-flecked, chestnut-brown-haired man coughed. He grabbed a handful of his bits and bobs. They were still there. He rubbed his cold, scarred and plated shins and then his hands together and woke some more. He leant back onto the palms of his hands and forcefully sprang himself upwards and off the bed into the new position of standing. He smiled in awe at his own ability to get up. The alarm clock was rewarded with a comical scowl. Marvin swayed a little as he focused his vision on the various odds and ends and second-hand furniture strewn around his poky, barely affordable rented bedroom. He saw cobwebs and more paint, peeling more paint it was as well, a portable black and white TV and a heap of shoddy clothes. His elongated face in the mirror witnessed a number of spidery digits scratching away at a heavy jawline beard, colour unknown. The sharp-featured face had its nose scratched too, and then its head hair ruffled. Marvin woke a little more. The sharp bits of sleep were deftly rolled out of the eyes and flipped expertly into the stained cast iron tub, ready to be rinsed away with a power shower water jet nozzle head. Yawning wide enough for a sleepy-headed man to shudder and then lose his balance, he walked into the door jamb. He stubbed his toe and into the bargain awoke his upstairs neighbours with an expletive-driven howl, pretty much on time for them to rise too. Unbeknownst to Marvin, the English-hating, heavily tattooed male of the middle-aged duo was cursing him. "That bleeding whale animal living in the dungeons, I swear I'll knock his head off one of these days." The animalistic threat would never materialise. Marvin couldn't remember why he had returned to the bedroom, and so he hobbled back into the bathroom for his shower. Wrapped in 3 towels after the shower, Marvin patted himself dry as he ambled over to the window with his water-diluted bleeding toe. He had ripped the little toenail clean off this time and had tried to convince himself that he wasn't in agony, but he was. Ash fell from his crumpled roll-up cigarette as he drew back the thin yellow curtains. He peered through the fresh-smelling lace nets, which were still trying to dry out from yesterday's hand wash. He blew smoke all over them, and then attempted to pick up the ash from the cracked wooden windowsill. He made matters worse by mixing the ash with a pool of water that had formulated after a good night's condensation. Black ash was now all over his freshly scrubbed fingers. Rummaging through the scratched chests of pine drawers for boxer shorts and socks, the Scottish emblem design blue and white towel fell from its poncho shoulder wrap and inspired Marvin to don the torn boxers with the button missing from the fly slit, odd socks, and then quickly chuck on a Muppet t-shirt, damp check shirt, jumper, and a pair of mud and paint splattered worn jeans with a patch on one knee. He went back into the damp and tatty bathroom and took the shower immersion cord back off. He hated to waste electricity. His ears awoke some more, and now he could register the light traffic noise outside. The main road was a good 30 yards away. Across the private tarmac laid car park, belonging to the block of stone flats in which he dwelled, from this distance the traffic sounded as lovely as thin, foamy ocean surf lapping in against soft sand during a gentle breeze. The pills went down with a good glug of icy water directly to mouth from the cold tap of the wash-hand basin. Tiny splecks of blue and white toothpaste were rubbed from the oval mirror with a thumb, and then badly tended yellowing teeth were scrubbed hard and fast. The ablutions were almost complete. The stone floor beneath the hallway carpet, it sent its cold grip upwards through the threadbare strands of wool and plastic fibre mix, and then attacked the man's feet. He slipped on his shoes, regained his composure, and then slipped the shoes on for insulation. He remembered the toe, so he removed the shoe again, and then a sock, and cleaned up the bloody toe. After wincing, tearing away the last scrap of ripped nail, he plastered it. Sock back on, shoe on, and away he went, all the way into the kitchenette, almost 8 yards away. His frayed shoelaces were unfastened. It was a normal performance for the deep-sleeping 41-year-old Marv, to bumble and stumble around each day during working. His dreams were so vivid, and he was so active within them, that he often awoke dripping in sweat after performing heroics of sorts, and burning up energy that left him exhausted for a large portion of his working life. Marv wasn't so sure that now was the real life, or the illusion. He stared at the neon blue lit cheap black plastic kettle, and waited for a boil. After 5 minutes of waiting, he jabbed the socket power switch to on. The water was eventually poured, the coffee was sweetened with Demerara but not milk, and a single slice of toast flew upwards with venom. He buttered the slice after scraping away the burnt bits. He plunked his chick mug down onto a Turkish rug mat, spilling some as he did so, and then he slumped down into the deep second-hand sofa and continued to nibble gingerly at a half-eaten buttery slice of seeded brown and burnt bread. Excellent toast, he thought. He hadn't tasted mould on it. Marv's sense of smell was returning at rapid pace. He could smell the coffee and the electric toaster, which was still puttering out the last wisps of burnt sesame seed smoke. The smoke wafted upwards in a desperate attempt at finding an outlet for escape. There was none. The kitchenette was windowless. He smelled the butter and the stale tobacco, minty toothpaste, generic shower gel, and the fabric softener of his soft rabbit wool shrunken jumper. He sipped his hot coffee and felt it burn a little. Mr. Sleepy placed the mug back down and picked up his Parker pen from the fruit crate cum coffee table. By his side, the leather-covered notebook. He opened it and began to write, starting with the day's date, Monday 30th of March, 2015. Stuck for a word, halfway into his first paragraph, Marv gave out a deep sigh and looked around his lounge. He liked this space, and he figured it was the nicest place he'd ever lived alone. He couldn't remember, however, any of the other places. He scanned his few possessions whilst looking for inspiration for the testing letter he believed was the time to finally write. He settled his trance-like gaze upon a weathered object, and he began to ruminate as daylight filtered in through the sappersack window glass via gaps in the woodland tree leaves and branches. Thanks for listening to Chapter 1. I'll be back at a later date with Chapter 2, The Broken Speaker. Cheerio now.